Hi love, welcome back. In today's class, you're making this beautiful flower bralette top. If you're new to the channel, my name is Miss Ayi and you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. Let's get right into class. To begin with, you are going to make a magic ring, and this is how I make my magic ring and pull through. After you've made your magic ring, you are going to chain 3. Chain 3 count as your first double crochet. You are going to make 11 more double crochets inside the magic ring. So in total, you should have 12 double crochet. That's including your first chain 3. And that is row 1. After your 12 double crochets, you are going to slip stitch at the top of your first chain 3 space, and that's the end of row 1. Row 2, you are going to chain 3, and now we are going to be working back loop only for the first, except the first stitch. So the first stitch is front. We are going to be working front loop only. So that very small stitch inside the leg of your chain 3, so insert your hook front and then insert it in that small, the tiny hole, yarn over, pull through and make your double crochet. The first chain 3 counts as a double crochet and now a double crochet. So in the next stitches all around, we are going to be making 2 double crochets back loop only in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you should be having 24 double crochets. So you are working double crochets back loop only, 2 double crochets in each stitch back loop only. And I'll meet you at the end. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch on top of your first chain 3 space, and we move to row 3. Row 3, you are going to chain 3. You are going to make your first stitch, that is front loop, double crochet inside the same stitch. So that's your first increase. Now in the second stitch, we are going back loop only, just a double crochet. In the third stitch, we are going to make 2 double crochets back loop only in the same stitch. So we are going to be increasing in a stitch and we make a double crochet in the next. Increase in a stitch, double crochet in the next. Increase is 2 double crochet in the same space. You are going to keep doing this until the end of the row. At the end of row 3, you should have 36 double crochets. At the end, you are going to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 space, and row 4 would begin with 3 chains. Make your first double crochet in the same stitch. So the very beginning stitches are always increase stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches of row 4, you are going to place double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and in the third stitch you are going to make an increase. So row 4 is going to be 2 double crochets in the 2 stitches, in the next 2 stitches, and you increase 2 double crochets and increase in the next. You make 2 double crochets in 2 separate stitches and you increase in the next. You're going to go all around until the end, and at the end of row 4 you should have 48 double crochets. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 space, and we begin row 5. Row 5, you are going to chain 3 and you are going to make your first increase, and you are going to make 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So this is how row 5 is. So you're going to place 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches, and always remember we are working back loop only. 1, 2 and 3, and in the next stitch, in the 4th stitch, you are going to increase. So this is row 5. Row 5, we are going to be making 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches and an increase. 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches and an increase. You are going to do that and go all around until the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch. And if you are a size, I'm going to end here with working back loop only. But if you are a size large, you can make 1 more. However, if you do not prefer a full coverage, you can leave it like that. Now row 6, you are going to chain 3, and we are not working back loop only, we are working normal double crochets. So chain 3 count as a double crochet. So work, this is 2, we are going to make 10 double crochets in the next 10 stitches. And 10. Now we are going to, this is 10 double crochets. We are going to be working space. So now you are going to chain 2. Inside the same stitch, you are going to make a double crochet. This doesn't count as your first double crochet. Now in the next 20 stitches, you are going to make 20 double crochet. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep doing this until you have 20. So this is my 20. When you get to the 20th stitch, you are going to chain 2 and make a double crochet in the same stitch. So we are making 3 corners. So we have 2. So we are going to make 20 double crochets again, and in the 20th stitch you are going to chain 2 and make a double crochet in the same stitch. And now the last stitches remaining will be 10. So make your 10 double crochets and close it off on top of the first chain 3 space. So however circle you made, whatever number you got, I got 60. That's why I divided it into 3, 20, 20, 20. So however you get, just divide it by 3 and then make your corners, make 3 corners, and you should be having something like this. Now let's go ahead and make our flowers. So this is our 3 corners. To begin the flowers, we are going to be working on the front loop. That is the stitches, the visible stitches showing on top of our circle. So insert your hook in any of the one, but I prefer to do it in the line where I made my slip stitches. So after inserting, you are going to chain 3, and the chain 3 count as your first double crochet. In the same stitch, you are going to place 2 more double crochets, and total would be 3, including the chain 3 space. In the next stitch, you are going to place 3 double crochet. So make 3 double crochet in the next stitch. So I'm trying to sew in my loose ends as I work. So work 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Now you're going to chain 1, turn your work. Inside each stitch you're going to make single crochet increase, so 2 single crochets in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row you should have 12 single crochets. After your single crochets on the same line, you are going to count skip 4, and in the 5th stitch you are going to make a slip stitch. So this is in the same line or row. You are going to make a slip stitch and chain 1, turn your work. You are going to make a single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. So you're going to repeat single crochet, chain 1 until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to skip 4 again, and inside the 5th stitch in the same line you are going to slip stitch, chain 3, chain 3, count as your first double crochet. Inside the same space you are going to place 2 more double crochets, making it 3, and inside the next stitch, so the next stitch would be the leg or the beginning leg of your first stitch. So inside that stitch you are going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. You're going to place single crochet, 2 single crochets in each stitch until the end of the row. Now at the end of the row you should have 12 single crochets. At the end of the row you are going to slip stitch at the beginning leg. So I'm going to cut off so it will be visible. So slip stitch at that very beginning leg, chain 1, turn your work and make your single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. So this is the complete row 1 flower. So at the end of the row you are going to slip stitch again at the bottom leg. So slip stitch and chain 2. So this is our first flower, first row flower complete. We are going to row 2. Chain 2 and connect it to row 2. So if you did everything well, your row 2 would land at the same place where you slip stitch your row 1. You started your row 1 in that same stitch. So you are going to chain 3, again chain 3, count as a double crochet. You are going to place 2 more double crochets in the same stitch, making it 3. In the next stitch you are going to place 3 double crochets. and in the next stitch again we are going to place 3 double crochets. So row 2 flower, the double crochets would be 9. Three in each stitch. You are going to chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to make single crochet increases. So 2 single crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, we are going to slip stitch at the previous leg, previous row 1 leg. Chain 1, turn your work. We are going to be working single crochet in each stitch, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to skip 5, and inside the 6th stitch, you are going to slip stitch. Chain 3, inside the same stitch, you are going to place 2 more double crochet, making it 3. In the next stitch, you make 3 double crochets. And in the last stitch, you make 3 double crochets. So 3 double crochets inside the same stitch in the next 3 stitches. So in total, you should have 9 double crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. You work your single crochet increases in each stitch until the end of the row. 2 single crochet in each stitch. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch at the very next leg of your previous flower. Chain 1, turn your work. You are going to work single crochet, chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to skip 5, and inside the 6th stitch, we are going to slip stitch. Chain 3, inside the same stitch, you are going to place 2 more double crochets. Chain 3 count as a double crochet. Inside the next 2 stitches, you are going to place 3 double crochets in the same stitch. So in total, you should have 9 double crochets. You are going to chain 1, turn your work. You are going to make your single crochet increases in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch at the legs, at the leg of your flower. Chain 1, turn your work. You are going to work your single crochet, chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, when we count 6 stitches, it takes us to the beginning stitch. So you are going to slip stitch at the leg of your beginning stitch, your beginning leg, and you are going to chain 2 and move to row 3. So slip stitch inside your row 3 and chain 3. Chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Just as we did for row 2, we are going to place 2 double crochet in the same stitch, making it 3, and in the next 2 stitches we are going to be making 3 double crochets in each stitch. At this point, my love, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming to class. I appreciate your support. Now you are going to chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to make our single crochet increases. After the increase, we are going to slip stitch at the leg of our previous flower, chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to be making single crochet chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, we are going to skip 6, and inside the 7th stitch we are going to make our slip stitch. So row 2 flower, we skipped 5, and inside the 6th stitch we started our double crochet. Now row 3 flowers, we are skipping 6 stitches, and inside the 7th we are making our double crochets. So chain 3 and place 2 more double crochets, and inside your next 2 stitches you are going to make 3 double crochets in each stitch. Total, you should have 9 double crochets. After your 9 double crochets, you are going to chain 1, turn your work, and make your single crochet increases in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch at the leg of your flower, slip stitch it inside the leg of your flower, and you're going to chain 1, turn your work. You're going to work your single crochet chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to skip 6, and inside the 7th stitch you are going to make our slip stitch. Chain 3 count as your first double crochet. Make 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and make 3 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. In total, you should have 9 double crochets. After your 9 double crochets, you are going to chain 1, turn your work, chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to work your single crochet increases in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch at the leg of your flower, chain 1, turn your work. You are going to work your single crochet chain 1, single crochet chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to skip 6, and inside the 7th stitch you are going to make a slip stitch, chain 3, and chain 3 count as your first double crochet. So place 2 more double crochets in the same stitch, making it 3, and in the next 2 stitches you are going to work 3 double crochets in each stitch. Total, you should have 9 double crochets. After your 9 double crochets, you're going to chain 1, turn your work your single crochet increases and slip stitch at the leg inside your previous leg, chain 1, turn your work your single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, this brings us to our last stitch. So in the 6th stitch, the 7th stitch would be our the beginning of our row 2 flower, and we are going to slip stitch there and chain 2 and move to our last row. So our last row, you are going to slip stitch and you are going to repeat the same exact as we did for row 3. So you are going to repeat the same exact steps, making your double crochets and your single crochets and your slip stitches. So we are repeating the same as we did for row 3, and I'm going to work off camera and meet you when I'm done. And also you are going to be making 2 of this. So after this first one, you're going to make another one, the same exact procedure, everything. So work this around and I'll meet you at the end of my row 4. So at the end of my row 4, I have chained 2 and then I'm on my normal double crochet rows. And with this, if you don't want full coverage, you would have to make single crochets all around. But if you want it more covered, or if you want a little inch, make half double crochets around your work. So inside the chain 2 space, if you are making single crochets, you're going to make 2 single crochet, chain 2 single crochet, all inside the chain 2 space. And if you are working half double crochet, you'll repeat the same thing, 2 half double crochets, chain 2 and 2 half double crochets, all in the same stitch. The rest of the stitches, you're going to be placing half double crochets in each stitch all around until the end. If you are working single crochet, again place single crochet all around until the end. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch on top of your first chain 2 space, cut and fasten your yarn, and you should be having something like this. Repeat the same exact process for the other part, and I'll meet you when I have mine 2 completed. This is what your work should be looking like. You can cut and fasten your loose ends. So this is mine 2, and this is what your work should be looking like. Now, before I cut and fasten my loose ends, let's work our top strand. To work my top strand, I'm going to use a 5mm hook and attach a strand on top of my first chain 2 or the half double crochet row, and I'm going to chain 50 for both sides, and this is what my work should be looking like. If you follow the same exact procedure, this is what you should be having. Now I'm going to cut and fasten all my loose ends. Where I need to sew in, I'm going to go ahead and sew in and cut, and I'll meet you when my work is neat and clean. So now after your work is neat and clean, you are going to chain a long strand, and I made about 150, and you are going to thread your yarn, your strand, through your first cap to the second. So start from the second corner. So the first corner is where we attach our first strand for the upper part. Now we are going to begin with the second corner, and what I'm doing is using my darning needle. I'm picking 2 stitches in, 2 stitches out, all around until I get to my last corner. So 2 stitches in, 2 stitches out, 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, 2 out, until I get to my chain 2 space. And I'm at the chain 2 space now, so pull through and leave a strand, a reasonable amount of strand at the other end. And now we are connecting it to the other side. So we are connecting it to the second corner, and we are going to be pulling 2 in, 2 out until we get to the third corner. And this is what your work should be looking like. Until we meet next week, is bye bye.